Hello everyone, in this video I am going to deal with the third and fourth part of ninth chapter of Madam Rides the Bus of class 10th. In the previous video I have already discussed first and second part. Now in this video I am going to deal with the third and fourth part. In the first and second part we come to know that the girl was successfully able to escape out of her home. She has collected enough money to pay the fare and now she is enjoying the bus ride. She is in bus now. Now let's see what's happened next in third and fourth part of this story. Her first January what careful, painstaking, elaborate plan she had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermints, toys, balloons and the like, and finally she had saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round even though she had the money. So it is being said in this paragraph, in order to enjoy the bus ride, the first challenges which the girl had, that is she had to collect fare, and that was 60 paise. And therefore the girl, what she did, whatever coin, whatever small amount of money she used to get for buying toys or other things, she used to collect those money. Resisting her desire, it means she suppressed her all desire to buy peppermints, toys, balloons and other things which she liked. And this is how slowly and gradually, it took a long time, but she was finally able to successfully collect 60 paise. And in order to enjoy the bus ride, whatever thing attracted her, she resisted, she suppressed all those desires. She even did not enjoy merry-go-round once when she went to the village fair. And this is how she had collected 60 paise, which was the fare of bus. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Vali always used these hours for her excursion, as she stood looking from the doorway of the house, or sometimes even ventured out into the village. Today these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. So now her first problem was solved, that is the monetary problem. The problem of money was solved. She had collected 60 paise. Now the second problem was that how she will manage to get out of the house without being noticed by her mother. So again she had a plan for it, that her mother used to sleep during afternoon between 1 to 4, and this time period only she used to enjoy for excursion. It means in order to go out of the house, in order to enjoy the street. During this hour she used to stand on the doorway of her house and she used to enjoy the scene of the street which was in front of her house, and sometimes even she utilized this time to roam around the village. So now today let's see whether she is able to execute her plan or not. So she has now made a plan that she will utilize the same time, that is between 1 to 4 o'clock. She will get out of her home and she will be going to town for the first time. She is going to go outside her village. The bus rolled on, now cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an odd wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming toward them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running toward them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there helpless for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. So now the girl is in bus. She is minutely observing everything She's continuously looking out of the window, she's watching everything, and as she's in the bus, she's enjoying the ride of the bus for the first time, and therefore sometimes it seemed to her that the bus was about to collide with the vehicle or the pedestrian which was there on the road coming from opposite direction, but it crosses all those obstacles very safely without hitting anyone. And then she described the movement of the tree which was on the both side of the road. It seemed to her that the tree was running in the opposite directions. Suddenly Vali clapped her hand with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to crawl and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again, but the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped. Always right in front of the bus. Somehow this was very funny to Vali. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. So now, while she was looking after the bus, she suddenly saw that a young cow with his tail high, it means his tail was in upward direction, it came running in the middle of the road just in front of the bus, and it was galloping, it means it was jumping, it was running just in right in the front of the bus, and the driver of the bus was blowing his horn time and again loudly. But as the horn sound increases, even the galloping of that cow increased. So the cow was frightened, was afraid to hear the horn of the bus, and therefore out of fear it was jumping and running here and there in the middle of the road in front of the bus. And this scene made her very happy, and out of her excitement and out of happiness she started clapping her hand with glee. It means with out of happiness she started clapping her hand. After all, she was a child only of 8 years old, and definitely a child will be amused to see this type of things. Although she was trying to pretend herself as a matured girl, but after all, her natural instinct which a child have at this age, she was not able to restrict that, she was not able to suppress that. And the scene was quite funny to her, and therefore she laughed a lot. She was not able to control her laugh. She laughed until tears started coming out of her eyes. "Hey lady, haven't you laughed enough?" called the conductor. "Better save some for tomorrow." So the conductor commented that you have laughed a lot. Now stop laughing and save it for the next day. At last the car moved off the road, and soon the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it traversed a busy, well-laid out shopping street, and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright-looking shops, what glittering displays of clothes and other merchandise, such big crowds. Struck dumb with wonder while he gaped at everything. So now it is being said that the bus moved ahead, the cow moved out of the road, off the road, and now the bus moved ahead and it came to a stop at a railroad crossing. From there in the bus she could see at the crossing that a train was coming nearer to that bus, to the place where she was standing at the railroad crossing, and the train crossed that railroad with a loud sound, that is with a roar and rattle. Roar and rattle here refers to the sound produced by the train which was passing through that railroad crossing. And then from there the bus entered, it crossed the busy lane, and after that it entered the town. And she was surprised to see the shops which was there in the town. She has never seen such a big shops before that, and therefore she was surprised to see that. She was struck dumb, it means she was totally surprised to see all those shops on the both side of the road. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Vali. "Hey lady," said the conductor, "aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paise takes you." "No," Vali said, "I am going back on the same bus." She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coin to the conductor. "Why, is something the matter?" "No, nothing's the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here?" "All by myself? Oh, I would be much too afraid." Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said, "But you weren't afraid to come in the bus. Nothing to be afraid of about that," she answered. So now the bus has come to its final destination. It has come to a stop, and the passengers who were there in the bus, they alighted the bus, they deboarded the bus, everyone deboarded the bus, but this girl Wali remained in the bus. She remained on her seat. Then the conductor asked her that whether she is not going to get off the seat, whether she is not going to deboard the bus. Then she said that no, I will stay here in the bus only, and just I will return back to home, back to the village by this bus only. So he thought that there may be any problem, that's why he asked. Then she said that no, it's nothing like that, just I wanted to enjoy the bus ride and therefore I came here. I did not come here to see the town, to enjoy the town. I just came here to enjoy the bus ride. And then he said that you can devote, you can come down and you can have a look of the town. Then she said to herself that I would be much too afraid. So again this thing shows her childish behavior which she was not able to resist. So that natural instinct has come up. So when she said so, she was saying it to herself, not to the conductor. So the conductor heard it and he was pleased to hear it, and then he said, "But you were not afraid while you were in the bus. In order to enjoy the bus ride, you were not afraid. Then why you will be afraid to step down the bus and to have a look of the town?" Then again she became conscious. She started behaving as a grown-up, and again she said, "There is nothing to be afraid about." "Well then, why not go to the stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid of about that either." "Oh no, I could not do that." "Well then, let me bring you a cold drink." "No, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all. It will be my treat and not cost you anything." No, she said firmly, "Please no." The conductor surged and they waited until it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again there weren't many passengers. So the ride has come to an end. She has reached the town and she was now waiting to return back to her home. So again the conductor persuaded her, convinced her. He said that she may get down from the bus and she can enjoy the drink. Then she said that no, I don't have enough money. The conductor offered her to buy a cold drink for her, but she said, "No, I don't want anything, just give me the ticket." So after that the conductor went. She has denied the offer of cold drink from the conductor, and now they were waiting for the bus. Now the passenger came into the bus and they were again waiting for the bus to return back to the village. "Won't your mother be looking for you?" the conductor asked when he gave the girl her ticket. "No, no one will be looking for me," she said. The bus started and again there was same wonderful sights. Wally wasn't bored in the slightest and greatest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt for the first time, but suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on our trip to town? She asked the conductor. So now the conductor, while he was giving ticket to the girl, he asked her that perhaps your members of your family, your mother would be looking for you. Then she said that no, no one would be looking for me. And again, now the bus has started for its journey back to the village, and again she was enjoying the shops which was beautifully laid on the both sides of the road. She was enjoying it and she was not bored to see it again. She was super excited, she was very happy to see it. And then suddenly she saw that a young cow was lying dead by the roadside. Perhaps it was hit or struck by any fast moving vehicle. So she asked it to the conductor, isn't that the same cow which came in the front of the bus? So that was the same cow which has come in front of the bus while the bus was coming to the town. The conductor nodded. She was overcome with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life, and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread-angled, a fixed stare in its lifeless eyes, blood all over. So now the girl, when the conductor confirmed that yes, that's the same cow which she had seen while she was coming to the town, at the sight of which she had become very happy and excited, she started clapping. She said he confirmed that yes, it's the same cow. So when she come to know, she become very she become very sad, and she started thinking to herself that few moments back the same creature was quite looking lovable, it was full of life, it was so beautiful, it was jumping on the road in front of the bus, but now within a half an hour it is lying dead. His legs are spread out. It is looking frightening and horrible, lifeless, and blood all over. So this is the reality of the life which she faces, which she learned, which she experienced in her journey. That is death. It can come at any moment, in any form. The bus moved on. The memory of dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She no longer wanted to look out the window. She sat thus glued to her seat until the bus reached her village at 3:40. She stood up, stretched herself, then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered her, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us. I don't forget to bring you, and don't forget to bring your fare." So now this girl, she became unhappy when she saw that cow lying dead by the roadside, and that sight has dampened her enthusiasm, her excitement. Now she was no longer happy, she has become sad, she is sorrowful now, she is full of sorrow now, and from then she never looked, she did not look out of the window, she sat glued, fastened to her seat till the bus reached her town. Till the bus reached her village. So the bus returned to the village at 3:40. Here there is a typing error. Here it would have been I. So when the bus reached her village, she stood from her seat and she stretched her body, and then she started deboarding the bus. She was about to deboard the bus. When she was about to deboard the bus, then she said to the conductor, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again, that it may be that she will come back. She will join the bus. She will again enjoy the bus ride." Then he said, "Okay, madam," with a smile on his face, and he said to her that whenever you feel like enjoying the bus ride, do come, but don't forget to bring your fare. She laughed and jumped down from the bus. Then away she went, running straight for home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Wali's aunt. The one from South Street, this aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. So now Wali, she had devoted the bus. She jumped down from the bus after greeting the conductor, and now she came running. She headed toward her home. When she reached her home, she saw that her mother was awake and she was talking to one of her aunt who was a resident of South Street. So again she informs us about the aunt with whom her mother is talking. She says that that aunt is a real chatterbox. It means she talks a lot. So whenever once she starts talking, she never come to an end. Her talks never come to an end. "And where you have been?" said her aunt when Wali came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Wali just smiled. Her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often cannot understand it completely, can we?" So these are the talk which they were discussing. These are the topic which her mother, Wali's mother, as well as her aunt were discussing. So when she entered the house, her aunt asked her that where she had been, but that was just a casual question, not intended to ask her. It was just a simple, normal, casual question, and therefore, without replying to the question, she just smiled and went inside the house. And her mother and her aunt were discussing that there are a number of things around us, between us and outside in the world, and it's not possible to know about everything. And even if we come to know about it, we can't understand all the things. "Oh yes," breathed Bali. "What?" asked her mother. "What's that you say?" "Oh," said Bali, "I was just agreeing with what you said about things happening without our knowledge." "Just a chit of girl she is," said her aunt, "and yet looking how she pokes her nose into our conversation. And yet look how she pokes her nose into our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Wali smiled to herself. She did not want them to understand her smile, but then there wasn't much chance of that, was there? So now Bali is there. She has returned back from her excursion after enjoying her bus ride. She has enjoyed the bus ride for the first time. She had been out of the village for the first time. So now she felt as if she had achieved a great success, and therefore she was feeling excited, she was feeling happy, and she was talking to herself, and in the midway she said, "Oh yes," loudly, and her mother asked, "What you said?" So in order to hide that what was going in her mind and why she was excited and happy, or what she said, she just said that, "Yes, I was agreeing with what you said to aunt right now, that we can't have knowledge of everything which is there out in the world." Then the aunt said that, "See, this girl, she is behaving as if she is a grown-up girl, and she is poking nose in our conversation. It means she is taking interest in what we are talking. She is behaving, she is answering, she is taking interest as if she is a grown-up lady now." So while he smiled at it, and she don't want them to understand that why she was smiling. So she was smiling because she has accomplished her desire, her long awaited desire to enjoy the bus ride, and therefore she was smiling to herself, she was talking to herself, she was getting happy, and she don't want her mother as well her aunt to know that for what reason she was happy, and she was talking to herself and why she was smiling. So let's see that whether the reason of her smiling is revealed or not, or her mother or her aunt comes to know about her right or not. So this is all about this story. So this is how we saw that the little girl, she made a proper planning in order to enjoy the bus ride. She collected 60 paise, she went out, she returned back without letting anyone even doubt her that she had been out of, out of the village, and this is how successfully she has completed her dream. This is all about this story. Thank you.